To our top story now, thousands of protesters took to the streets of Idlib in northwestern Syria to denounce the ongoing presidential elections held on Wednesday. Protesters called the elections farcical and illegitimate. Carrying the Syrian opposition flag, placards, banners and posters, they dubbed the elections a charade. Protesters raised banners describing Assad as a war criminal and chanted, calling him the enemy of God.
اليوم نرفض الانتخابات الرئاسي الديكوري السوري القائم على جماجم السوريين وعزباتهم ومدنهم وقراهم المدمرة، والتي هي قرار المحتلين الروسي والإيراني.
Voting started in the war-torn country on Wednesday. The election is said to give President Bashar Assad a fourth seven-year term. With opponents abroad barring from running, Assad faces just two virtually unknown challengers. The election is the second since the country's civil war broke out 10 years ago. The decade-long conflict has killed more than 388,000 people and displaced half the pre-war population. The US, Germany and other European countries have slammed the election and called it a sham orchestrated by Assad. The Biden administration has said it will not recognize the result of Syria's presidential election unless the voting is free, fair and supervised by the United Nations. Around 4 million residents of the rebel-held enclave have been displaced by various rounds of fighting. They refuse to return to live in Assad-controlled areas after losing their homes.
احنا جينا بشكل عفوي لنقول لكل دول العالم انه الشيء اللي عم بيصير عند النظام مسرحي، انتخاباته غير شرعي، انه مجرم قاتل، قتل 2 مليون سوري وهجر نصف الشعب السوري.
The war-battered country is mired in an economic crisis. More than 80% of the population lives below the poverty line, and the Syrian pound has plunged in value against the dollar. Inflation has skyrocketed, and for a significant population, their employment barely buys enough food. Subsidized food has become a lifeline for many. Syria has been engulfed in a bloody civil war since 2011, when anti-Assad rebels took up arms against the government amid pro-democracy protests during the Arab Spring. The Syrian armed forces have managed to regain control of most of the country over the past decade. Hundreds of thousands of Syrians have died since the 2011 uprising, with millions having fled the country.